Hey YouTube, how's it going? Thomas here. Currently on the Transformers Universe website, and as you can see here, I'm on the official website. You can see my global ranking. I've not played Transformers Universe since the game was officially released. So you can see games played, laws, draws, everything. Global rank 161,000. So that tells me that about 161,000 people have actually signed up and played Transformers Universe. So that just tells you how many people have basically played it there. If you look up here, you can see my relics and how I have 1,200 relics. That was given to me as a beta tester. I was in fact involved early into Transformers Universe as a beta tester. I was under a non-disclosure agreement, so I couldn't really release any beta footage or information, things like that. I did post it on my YouTube channel, last year that I got an email that I've been invited to the beta, some things like that, and that Jagex is beta testing at this time, letting you guys out there know what was going on. And I really honestly, complained multiple times on their discussion forums up here, and made tons and tons of suggestions to Jagex. Hey, I don't like what you're doing. I don't like how the game is. You're going to have overpowering. This ain't what people want in ranking, especially in any type of MMO or first-person shooter. And they're like, this is an MMOT. This ain't an MMORPG. You need to get your head out together. Which the reality of the matter was they were trying to reinvent online gaming. They were trying to come up with something completely different, and this is what they have. They have a failed experiment. Scrolling down here, after less than a year of the official launch of Transformers Universe, December 16th, 2014, Jagex has announced that they will close Transformers Universe. Not a very large surprise to me, because I already told Jagex this is not going to work. People are going to get on here, they're going to grind, they're going to play for weeks on end, they're going to power way, way up, and then everyone's going to be overpowered. They need to introduce, a couple hundred different, styles and game maps to play from. They only had one game mode, which I thought was pretty bad. I thought they would release more. They just had, 4 versus 4, style, first-person shooter style, sharpshooter matches is what I refer to it as. You kill somebody, you spawn back, so nobody ever dies. They didn't have any type of last man standing matches. You kill somebody, that's it. They didn't have no search and destroys. They didn't have no capture the flag, no king of the hill, no solo matchmaking, things like that. And I really just think that that is kind of really what lit up to the failure of Transformers Universe, that there was so much lack of what the game could have been. They didn't put enough weapons in there. They put more Transformers on there. They sold these founder packs that were hundreds of dollars right here, as you can see. I immediately brought attention to this. I was protesting this from the start. The second they done this, I was ticked, because I knew a lot of people were not going to want to come in here and pay $100 for Transformers. They weren't wanting to put out all this money, because it's just like any other pay-to-win video game. Nobody wants it. I like a subscription system, and a lot of guys are like, oh, you don't want subscriptions. Subscriptions suck. Well, the thing is, Jagex is a huge gaming company. They have a network. They have, Funorb, they have RuneScape, they have this new Blocks and Loaded, they have all these other games that are coming out, including Transformers Universe. So they could put all those games on a monthly subscription of 10 or 15 bucks, and you can play all the games using the same membership, same username and password. And, I think that they would do really well if they would choose to do something like that, because, okay, you get tired of playing Transformers Universe, go play RuneScape. You get tired of playing RuneScape, go play on Funorb. You just have that variety. And, that's really what they needed. They needed something like that. And right here, I'm going to go ahead and go in here and look at the top 100s for both sides. So, people can always look back on stuff on here. And right here is all game modes. As you guys can see here, here's the pros and the higher ranks. Decepticons, you can see, ultimately dominated right here. If you're actually looking at this, they dominated the Autobots and things like that. They had the highest, levels. So, Decepticons basically ruled the Autobots. They overpowered them, and kind of probably one of the reasons a lot of people didn't like it was because the Decepticons were more powerful. And then you have a lot of people who are Autobots like, oh, no, we're Autobots. We dominated and stuff. But you can just see the ranking right here in the leaderboards and how it is, and you just see just how powerful it is. And right here, right here's a good thing. There's 81,000 right there. It says pages, and how many people are on page? There's 20 people per page. So we'll just go ahead. Well, technically it's 81. Yeah, 8100 more or less. So we'll just go 20 times that by 8158 equals, so 163,000 people actually was involved in this game, and they actually played it. So that pretty much tells you how many people exactly played this game in multiplayer, because you can see my rank. I'm at the very freaking bottom. But you know, I mean, the game itself, I mean, I think it had a lot of potential. I think the game would have been really just very, very successful. I think Transformers Universe had what it takes to be a good game. I just think the way Jagex put it together, I think the way that they set the rules, they set the standards, they done this, they done that, and I mean, they just didn't do it right. I mean, they made a crappy game. They didn't put missions into it. They didn't put really, I mean, a storyline, because everyone associates Transformers with the tech comic books or the movies, and I just don't think they had what it took to really make Transformers Universe what Transformers Universe should have been, or what Transformers Universe needed to be, more or less. So, as far as Transformer Universe goes, as I stated previously and a year ago, that the game was doomed for failure, which was my official statement on the discussion forums here at Transformers Universe. It was in the beta discussion forums before that was later taken down. And the fact of the matter is, I still stand by my decision and my previous statement that the game is doomed for failure, and apparently my review was in fact correct. It was in fact accurate. And as you can see here, we are looking directly at not all stats, but the Autobots, all Autobots right here. And scrolling down through here, this is the final tally, because this is January 31st, 2015. The servers are officially being shut down tonight. So this is the last time that this website will most likely be viewed, unless Jagex chooses to keep it up. All these high scores will probably be lost. All the people who've put in hundreds of hours, or if not thousands of hours of time, effort for a video game that, you know, shut down by Jagex. This is just another example of how Jagex screws over the gaming community and screws over gamers. I quit playing Jagex games several years ago with RuneScape after my account was permanently banned, and I was accused of breaking the rules. Jagex has still yet failed to, in fact, unban my account, because they swear that I, in fact, violated their rules, which I did not, which I've basically stated numerous times, and they continue to ignore me. So a lot of people don't like Jagex's reputation. They don't like the company. They don't think what the developers do there, or even the administration or the staffers, are any good at what they do. So, you know, that's pretty sad. But going to the Decepticons top 100s, we'll go ahead and do that real quick. And after this here, I'll go ahead and stop the YouTube video, because I'm pretty much finishing up my rant and, you know, coming to a proven point that, you know, I was right about this game failing. I didn't like what it had in it. And I do have some video footage that I'm going to upload from the closed beta. The first day in the beta, I couldn't even drive a Transformer. I mean, it was just that screwed up. The vehicles would actually, you would get flipped upside down, and then the character would glitch and fall through the map. And a lot of people are saying that the reason the game failed was because the game engine that Jagex made the game on just was not stable. It just kept crashing. People were having a lot of problems and stuff like that with it. But I think the reason that was the big issue, because, I mean, I've used the game engine before, because, you know, I do develop games, for some of you that do know, and I've actually made games. I've worked with it, but the browser-based client is not very stable. It's kind of glitchy, and that's, I think, what kind of screwed Jagex, because they didn't really look into that early in. They just assumed it was stable, which it's not. But the other problem I think they didn't really consider, and they tried to do a standalone run your desktop thing, which the standalone, like the desktop version, like when you do the game and release it that way, it is stable, but they've put so much high-end graphics, digital graphics, so many like moving parts and components on the characters, the in-game platform. It's overkill. People, I mean, the system, the game engine's not designed for it. More or less, it's not stable with that much stuff going in, and it's led to constant crashing and failures and things like that. And I think that was really the big problem, you know, with the game engine itself. As far as my system goes, I mean, I have a high performance computer. I'm running AMD 8 core, 32 GBs of RAM, terabyte hard drives, SSDs for my operating system. I mean, it's just, I have a gaming rig. I have a gaming system. I got about $2,000 into my computer. And, I just don't think Jagex realizes that, hey, you're on office computers. You're not on consumer computers. You have to take this kind of stuff into account, and you have to consider that people are going to be connecting to a server that's not going to be locally hosted right there where you're working. They're going to be connecting to it from around the world. I saw very few problems when I was in the beta, but, as far as everything else goes, I think there's just too many problems. There's really way too many problems. And I really wish Jagex would have put more thought into this game. They would have at least left it up for the people who do like it and who do play it. But, I mean, I don't think they should have shut the thing down. But it's all about royalties. It's all about money. It's all about a partnership. And that's all that they care about is money. It just, it shows how much respect Jagex has for its players, how much it has for its fan base. They just don't give a damn. They really do not. Or this game would still be operational regardless to whether it was successful or failure, or they would release the entire game as a downloadable copy where people can actually play it themselves, or they could host their own match makes and do things like that, which I know there's people out there who would love to just host their own matches and stuff, but Jagex will not do that. And that takes care of the Decepticon scores here. And we'll go ahead and put this up on YouTube for you guys. And just thought I would go ahead and rant here for a moment and tell you what I think about the failure of Transformers Universe. But other than that, I'm actually going to look at the game guides and just a few things here that you guys just kind of see some other things here on the site, I guess, before I close the video. You got the command center here. And this is what I was talking about. You got all these moving pictures on the walls and all these kind of really high-end details and just different things like that. So a lot of high-end details, things like this, really just ultimately resulted into the failure of the game as far as I'm concerned, because they just could not handle it. It just couldn't handle it. There's too much going on. And, anyways, guys, this is Transformers Universe's website for the final time. With some awesome gameplay and experience here, as you guys can see, and through the screenshots. There will be plenty of those probably left laying around on YouTube. Things like that there. And as you can even see, some of the stuff here on the website, it just doesn't even want to load. Just how sad the website is right at this point, because they've just kind of taken everything, I think, and threw it on a crap server and said, screw it and be done with it. But, it was, I think, an awesome game for a lot of people who played it, people who actually was able to level up. But, I mean, just the combat system, I mean, the tactical thing, this is a tactical game. The higher level you get, the more powerful weapons you get, the more you can do. I think that's just a terrible concept in any type of first-person shooter game. It's kind of like you have a regular soldier, and here comes a 5-star general, and he's got a freaking bazooka launcher or a machine gun that's 10 times stronger than your gun, and he's got body armor, so you're basically shooting him, and you can't kill him, but he can kill you in one shot, and it's just kind of funny, because he can just walk up to you with a pistol, you're shooting him in the head, and he just shoots you one time, and you die. That was the concept of Transformers Universe. That is why the game failed. Stupidity upon Jagex to create such an ignorant game, and for the developers to think for a second that, this is a good idea. Well, they all sit there in their room. They don't have real world experience. They don't play video games. They sit there at a computer, and it's a salary. It's a paycheck for them. But for people like us who play games, we're the ones that suffers. We're the ones that get screwed in the end, courtesy of Jagex, and that is why I no longer play RuneScape. And as far as Transformers Universe goes, this is officially the end of Transformers Universe. The website is shutting down today. The high scores that I just listed to you and showed to you are the final scores for the game. But anyways, YouTube, thank you for watching. I tried to keep this video under 15 minutes, even though I can rant for another hour. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe. Peace out.